Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to finish off our little mini series on macronutrients with protein. Today I'm going to show you how much protein you need to be eating, what types of protein you need to be eating, and a couple of little hacks along the way to help you get the best protein in without eating too many calories. So I guess the first thing I want to clear up is how much protein you should be eating. And I'm talking about you watching this, how much I should be eating, how much Joe blogs next door should be eating. It's different for everybody, and yes, I get there's a lot of information online, and I get there's a lot of variations of you should eat like 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body fat, and if you're weightlifting or you're bodybuilding, you should be eating 1.2 grams of protein per gram of body weight. There's lots of different theories, lots of different methods, and a lot of them will work, but they'll only work for certain people. And all I want to do is share with you what works for me and what has worked for my clients over the years. And it's super simple. And that is 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. That's per kilogram of body weight. So I weigh around about 80 kilograms. I eat 80 grams of protein per day. And that really could just be the end of the video. You know, you eat 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. That's me done. I'm out of here. Hang on a minute. I did promise you a few other things as well, didn't I? So let's start by breaking down this 80 grams of protein per day. And let's just use myself as an example, because I've used myself as an example in the carbs and the fats video as well. So let's assume that I have 5 meals a day. I have like a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner. They're kind of like your 3 staple meals, your 3 main meals. Then on top of that, I have like a morning snack and an afternoon snack. So that's kind of like your 5 meals. If I break my protein requirements up into those meals, I have 20 grams with each main meal, 20 grams with breakfast, 20 grams with lunch, 20 grams with dinner. Then I just have 10 grams with my snack in the morning and 10 grams with my snack in the afternoon. There's my 80 grams. It's really not that difficult for me to hit. If I was to start looking at bodybuilding or even some weight loss plans, and I start to think, well, I want to increase my protein, obviously it becomes a little bit harder, and I've got to add more protein to each meal, but that's exactly what I want to do. I want to add a little bit to every meal, so it's evenly distributed throughout the day, and I'm having protein with every meal. That way, as we discussed a couple of weeks ago, the carbs, when you have them as part of a balanced meal, you have proteins and fats. The carbs are absorbed much slower into our body, giving us a longer release of energy. We feel energized for longer, we don't get the sugar high and low, and it helps maintain or even lose weight over a period of time. So very important to have protein with every meal that you eat. So now we've sorted that out and we've split our daily allowance up into our meals, we need to look at what type of protein we want to be eating. Now, obviously, if you're a vegan or you're a vegetarian, this is going to be totally different. I'm not going to go into all that today. I've got videos on veganism, vegetarianism. Please go and check them out if you need to. But today, let's just assume that you're a meat eater, and we're going to use meat protein as an example. So we want to be eating the leanest form of proteins we possibly can. The reason for that is protein is 4 calories per gram of protein. So we want to be sticking to that calorie intake. What you're going to do is if you have a chicken breast, and a chicken breast is a very lean source of protein, and you're basically just having the 4 calories per gram of chicken breast, that's fantastic. You know exactly what you're eating. You're eating lean protein. You can track your calories really well. If then you eat the chicken skin as well, there's a lot of saturated fat there, and that fat is going to be 9 calories per gram. So suddenly then you're not just getting the lean protein from the chicken, but you're also having to factor in the fat. It's not very good for you. It's blocking up your arteries, clogging up your system, but it's also adding calories to your daily intake. And some of you may not realize how many calories that's actually adding. So you have a chicken breast, a bit of skin, you think, oh, that's good. I'm eating good food. I'm eating lean meat. Why am I not losing weight? That chicken skin can be really detrimental to you. And it's the same with things like red meat, with lamb and beef. There's a high fat content there. So you want to go for the leanest meats possible. White fish, chicken breasts, again, stay away from the oily fish such as salmon and mackerel, quite high in fat, quite high in calories. Stick to the plain, lean meats as much as possible. And if we come away from meat a little bit and we look to eggs for our protein, again, a great source of protein, but the protein primarily is in the whites of the egg white. There's a lot of fat in the yolk. So a good hack here, if you're going to have, say, an omelette, for example, for breakfast, thinking I'm going to get my protein in that way, try and switch it up. So if you have a 3-egg omelette, you have maybe 3 egg whites and 1 egg yolk. That way you're not getting quite so much fat in and you're saving yourself some calories. The omelette still tastes bloody amazing. In fact, I think it tastes better without so many egg yolks in it as well. So just maybe a third of the egg yolks to the egg whites. Get that ratio right. You're going to get high levels of protein, going to get a great tasting meal and minimal amount of fat, minimal amount of calories. Another great option for you is protein powder. I fully recommend, whether you're vegetarian, vegan or not, going for a plant-based protein powder. I do find that the normal protein powders you get, which are made from whey, that they can make you feel quite bloated and they can clog you up a little bit. I personally don't get on with them very well, but things like pea protein, rice protein, I get on really, really well with, and I find that most of my clients do as well. You can get a really good protein powder that has minimal carbs, very minimal fat, and high levels of protein. So for, say, a general summary here is 1 scoop will give you like 25 grams of protein, and you'll get maybe 20 grams of carbs, a few grams of fat. It's very, very minimal. It's mainly protein. So if you're watching your calories, you're trying to lose a bit of weight and you want the protein in, that's a great way to do it. Have it with water, add a few other things in, like some spinach, some greens powder, you can flavor it, maybe a little bit of honey, something like that. That's fine. But try and stay away from adding it to milk, because the milk, again, even if it's plant-based milk, I find doesn't do you a lot of favors and it's still quite calorific. A protein shake made with plant-based milk could easily add another 120, 150 calories to your drink. And as you know, if you're watching calories, you're losing weight, that's very, very important, and that's a lot of calories every day. And the last thing we're going to look at today when we're talking about your protein and your macronutrients as a whole, because like I said, this mini series has been about your macronutrients. We started with carbs, then we went on to fat. Now, lastly today, we're talking about protein, but they all go hand in hand. It's very, very important that you have a balanced meal. And we're going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to show you how to make up a plate of food with your protein, your carbs, and your fats to make sure that you are filling your plate with the right amount of proteins, carbs, and fats without really having to track your food if you don't want to do that. But I'll get to that in a minute. A simple way to look at your macros to see if you're getting enough is to use your hand. It's your best guide as to how much you should be eating. I would say, as a general rule, and please don't think this is steadfast, this is not right for everybody, this is a general rule, is the palm of your hand, just here, this bit, is purely your protein, okay? And you're going to look at it, thickness and area size as well. That there, that palm is a perfect size piece of protein. Thickness and area is perfect. If you had a chicken breast that was that size, that thickness, or a bit of fish, that size, that thickness, that's perfect on your plate as protein. Now let's look at carbs. Clench your fist. That there, just that little bit there, that is a perfect size for your carbs. So if you imagine that's like some whole grain rice or some mashed potato maybe, that's the perfect size. You've got that, you've got your protein on your plate. What a great start. Then we're going to add in a little bit of fat as well. So you've got your carbs, you've got your protein, a little bit of fat, just that there. Just that thumb, that's the perfect size piece of fat. You might be looking at some nuts and seeds on your plate, you might be looking at some avocado maybe, but just enough there to fill that kind of thumb size, thickness and all, thickness and length. That's what you want on your plate as fat. Again, as a general rule, if you're a female, 1 palm of protein, 1 fist of carbs, 1 thumb of fat, that's great, okay? That's a great portion size for most females. Guys, again, generalizing, double that, 2 palms, 2 fists, 2 thumbs, a great dinner plate, okay? And that's so simple. That's without you having to track your food, that's without you having to weigh your food, measure it, or anything like that. As long as you stick to your lean proteins and you stick to your good whole grain carbs and you stick to your good healthy fats, that's it. Palm, fist, thumb. It's that simple, it really is. And remember, it's that balance that we want between all 3 of those macros. Yes, we're talking about protein today, but the protein only works if we have the balance between all the macros. The old days of bodybuilders just having chicken, rice and peas is long gone. It's not a healthy way to live. You want the healthy fats. You want the good whole grain carbs, okay? You want the lean proteins. You want it all on your plate. And ideally, yes, you've got your 3 main meals, your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, where you're going to have these big portion sizes. Even your snacks ideally should be smaller portions of carbs, proteins and fats on every plate. It should always be a balance, because that way your body is going to absorb all the nutrients. Everything's going to be released slower. You're going to get greater benefit over a period of time for eating these foods and mixing everything together on the one plate. Last thing I want to show you quickly is just this. Okay, so I'm just going to show you this quickly. We've worked on the palm, the fist and the thumb technique for getting your dinner plate right. This is another way of just working out what should be going on your dinner plate. So if I just draw a line down here, not the straightest line in the world. Let's cut this dinner plate in half and let's say that everything this side is macro free, because this whole portion of this dinner plate I want made up of vegetables and salads. Okay, this is your green side. This is where all those micronutrients come from. We're obviously talking about macros, the carbs, fats, proteins, but the micronutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, the things that really help our body tick, the things that make us better, they are here, they on this side. So our macros just come on this side. So let's have a little look. We go for our protein. Let's say that's our protein there, our palm size piece of protein. That works really, really well. There's your chicken, there's your fish. Then we have a little bit of fat. Let's say a thumb-sized portion of fat. There we go. There's our thumb-sized portion of fat. And then our fist-sized portion of mashed potato or whole grain rice or something like that. So carbs, I'll try and draw upside down. Carbs, fats, protein. Not wonderful, I know, but you get the idea. And here, that's your greenery, that's your colors, that's your micronutrients, okay? Micronutrients take up half the plate, your macros take up the other half. It's so simple. One easy way to track your food. So there we have it, guys. 2 very, very simple ways to make sure you're getting the right amount of macros with every dinner time. You've got your fist, you've got your palm, you've got your thumb, and you've got your plate as well. 2 simple ways to get the right amount of proteins, carbs and fats in every mealtime without tracking your food. But if you want to take it to that next level, you know by now I'm very keen on tracking food, so go and check out the NutriCheck app. That's what I use, that's what I recommend. This video is not sponsored by them, it's just a tool I think is really, really useful. It's super cheap and it's great to use, easy to use, and it will really make a difference to you whether you're trying to build muscle, whether you're trying to lose weight or just maintain and live a healthy lifestyle. It will make a difference, believe me. Thanks for joining, guys. Thanks for watching. Next week, we're going to be in a slightly different location. We've got something special coming up next week, so make sure that you don't miss that. You're going to love the advice coming to you next week. Have a great week. If you need anything, pop a question down in the comments. Please hit the button, like, subscribe. You know the drill. It'd be great to see you here next week. Take care. Have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video.